Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this Bally Safari pinball machine. We've got the thing up and running. If you didn't watch those videos, you missed out on some great videos. But now we're up to doing the cosmetics. So we're going to work the playfield, clean it up. It's actually in pretty decent shape. But the main problem that we have is that the art on the cabinet is pretty screwed up. So the thing was painted kind of like a white originally that has this splatter paint on it. And it's in okay shape, it's in passable shape, but the orange and the green has completely started flaking away. On the side there you can see it's actually a kind of stylized looking tiger laying in the grass because it's a Bally Safari. So we need to repaint the tiger and repaint the grass to make it look a little better. On the back box, there's just some trees and grass and a sky. Very simple two-color stencil. Front's just kind of a couple triangles. A few triangles on the back box. And then this side over here is just a mirror of the other side, but the poor tiger is almost completely gone. So I think we're going to leave the base coat, the base color, and just touch up the green and the orange. It'd be a little easier to just do it by hand instead of trying to repaint everything. The reason we're going to leave the base coat is because that speckle paint, that's really hard to do. It's hard to get that right. It can be done, but it makes a big mess and takes a long time. So this is what we're starting with, and I'm going to get Joey in here to see if he can touch some of that up. What do you think? He'll probably want me to help, and I'm good at like wait a minute. I'm going to get paint all over I better take my watch off. Wait till I get my watch off here. bunch of cosmetic stuff to it. We decided to leave the legs green. I just kind of like it. I know it's a slightly different green than the cabinet, but I like it. All right. So the base coat is still the same and still has the wear here and there that it had. Around the flipper buttons, for instance. We cleaned it up a little bit as best we could, and then just left it how it was. And then just repainted the orange and the green as you saw. I think it looks tremendously much better. I couldn't be happier with it. I think we took it from about a 4 to about a 7.5 or an 8. It's got a patina, you know. Now the other option, there were a couple other options that you could do. The best option would be to take all the paint off, put wood filler in it, spray it with primer, spray it with the base coat, spray it with the splatter paint, spray it, create a stencil for the green, create a stencil for the orange. That's 10 stencils if you're keeping track. Create 10 stencils that you have to make custom because nobody sells them, and then spray clear over it. There's no way in hell I'm going to do that. You know how much I would have to charge to do that, even if I was good at that. You know how much I'd have to charge to do that? Okay. So wouldn't you say I'm probably not that good at that? And then I'd still have to charge that much? It'd be a horrible idea. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, if you're a hobbyist and you want to go all the way on your machine, I encourage you to do so. As a business, at the level we're doing at, it's nearly impossible to do that and get your money back. It's a lot of work. People think that's a quick thing. It is not a quick thing. It is a lot of work. Quickest you could possibly do that, probably 20 hours of work. I think it looks very presentable the way it is. I just think it looks really nice. Not as nice as it would look if it was in, you know, real clean original shape. But all things considered, I think it came out great. We will have no problem selling this. The back glass we went over in the first video, it's in fantastic shape. Notice it says tilt up in the top left corner. That's because we just turned it back on. Just a really nice back glass. I don't know if they're all that nice. I've heard that some are on plexi and some are on glass. This is the glass one. But I'm very happy with that. Just repainting the orange around the back box and the green on the neck there really helped it too. And then the Playfield cleaned up very nice. It does have some wear, just minor wear. Well, I'd call it minor. But we just left it because it all looks so clean. And again, you know, when you've got wear on the cabinet, you don't have to make everything look brand new. I think a lot of people on these old machines, they get caught in this thing where they want everything to look perfect. And I'm not even capable of making it look perfect, even if I wanted to. And I don't want to. There's different levels of it for sure. And we are not top level. We are not on the highest level of restoration. We are, I wouldn't even call it, we don't even do restorations. This is not a restoration. This is a repair. Okay, these are the pop bumper caps that were on it. It looks like the originals were blue, the same thing, but blue. But, you know, they look great. I mean, I could spend $30 and put blue ones on there, but what's the point? They look great. The ball arch up there is metal, like they often are. And then, strangely, these side rails are metal. Those are metal rails. And then this rail here is also metal. They were certainly doing interesting things around this time period. If you didn't see our earlier videos, whenever we I bet that one's wrong too. It says 10 points when lit, but it's always lit. If you didn't see our earlier videos when we went through some of the electronics of this thing, you really missed out. So this was designed by Ted Zell, very creative designer. All of his stuff was kind of, or most of his stuff, it wasn't symmetrical. The left and the right sides would be different. And that little thing that he's doing with the pop bumpers there, where there's 3 of them and they're off to one side a little bit, he loved that. That was on a bunch of his stuff. A sign of a lot of his games is the rollovers at the top aren't straight. They're angled like these are. And he was just all about angles and making things kind of flow weird. And that's just what that guy was all about. Now, he doesn't necessarily have the most commercially successful games of all time. So I'm not even saying that it was a good idea that he did this. I'm just saying that the guy was interesting. He came up with some really creative stuff. And it's refreshing to me to see a guy design some stuff where he didn't just do the same old tired layouts that everybody else did. But again, same old tired layouts might have been more fun or might have been more commercially successful. But he would just, you know. So we're going to read, you know, it doesn't even have instructions. I was going to say we're going to read over the instructions, but they didn't even do instructions back then on this era of Bally, I guess. We'll just look it over and see if we can figure out how to play it. What do you think about that? I thought we read some kind of instructions before. The old card that was on there did have instructions, but these are the ones that were with it, so whatever. All right, so this game kind of has a skill shot from 1968. When you shoot up here to the top, it says, hit the rebound to light 100. Now, this is arranged to where the ball's not going to go back up there too much. It might if that pop bumper hits it just right, it might go back up. But that's basically a skill shot. So they want you to hit this, bounce off, hit that, and then hopefully go down the middle. If you don't hit that, it's not going to be 100, and that's the only way to light up the 100. Skill shot. Okay, so you've got that. I think those are all 3 worth 10 points, but the middle one's worth 100. And I think that switch doesn't do anything but light the 100. I don't think you get 10 points or anything for that switch. So then you drop down here to the 3 pop bumpers. We talked about those. There's a stand up there and a stand up there. The ones that are near the pop bumpers, I usually try to adjust it a little bit farther away because that ball is going to hit that hard every time it hits it. Right? If you've got it too close, you're going to get a thing where it machine guns and it fires over and over again. Here in the middle of the playfield, you've got 4 mushroom pop bumpers. And notice how they're not even close to symmetrically laid out. So he's got this one just over here in the left. And the one on the right, I guess, are those evenly laid out? The yellow one's a little higher, isn't it? I don't know. No, they're probably the same because you've got this tiger trail thing. If that's evenly laid out, then those are. All right, so you got those 2, and then he's got a red one in front of the one pop bumper right in the middle, and then the yellow one in front of that pop bumper right in the middle. Because the hell with it, that's why, right? He just did what he wanted to do. And then he has a little stand up there and one there because he wanted to, people. That's why. Okay. Any more questions? Just because he wanted to. All right. So then you have this shot up here where it's lit for 100 right now, and when you go through that gate, you can only hit this one rollover. And then it's going to dribble back out this gate. And it says that it opens the free ball gate. Now the free ball gate is this gate. So if you lose the ball out the right side, it's going to be saved by that gate back to the shooter lane. A very common feature. And then I don't know if that also, we didn't look up the schematics over as much as we could have. We could get real deep in the schematics on this, trying to figure some of this out. But how do you get that on 200? What makes that 200? Going through there, does that do it? Hitting that switch, does that do it? Which would be that same thing, because that's how they know that you went through there. Or does it just do it at a certain ball? Like maybe on ball 3 it does that or something. And then this other switch down here, I don't even know what it does. Doesn't say. So the 4 mushroom bumpers, the 2 yellow ones advance Tiger, and the 2 right ones advance Trail. So that's down here. So we looked at that in one of the earlier videos, the last video. There are 2 stepper units underneath. One's for the Tiger and one's for the Trail. And when that gets up to, when they're all lit, so when Trail is lit, Super Score advances. When Trail is lit, Super Score advances. Lights 100, lights 200. So I guess it does that sequentially. Now the Super Score is this extra score reel in the back. I don't know if it starts at 0. I don't know if it resets. We'll find out here in a minute. But here on the scorecard it says Super Score of 5 gives you 1 replay and a Super Score of 9 gives you 1 replay. That's kind of up in the air too. I set it on 5, but it looks to me like it's set on 8 as well, so I don't know. It may be a Super Score of 8 will give you a replay. There was no lug for 9, so I don't know how that works, but whatever. And then the Tiger one is the same. When Tiger is lit, Super Score advances. Lights 200, lights 100. Whatever that means. Okay, now there's some more stand-up switches. One there, and one there, and one here. I believe those all do 10 points. There is, or no, one of those, some of those do 1 point. Which is also a very strange thing, because there is a 1 point reel, but there's hardly anything on the playfield that even scores 1 point. It's not even all of the stand-ups, it's just a couple of them. So, whatever, kind of strange. And you get 50 points for going out the out lane. You may get 100 points for going out the in lane. And then this says 10 points when lit. I think that it is lit the whole time, though. I don't think it lights up. I think it's the wrong cap. It should have just said 10 points. The reason it doesn't say 10 points is because for a long time it was hard to get that particular cap that just said 10 points, because almost all of them say 10 points when lit, or 100 points when lit, or 100 points when lit, or whatever. They always say when lit, so they were a little harder to get the correct one for a while. There was some information on the Internet Pinball database about that bumper from the factory sometimes being a pop bumper. This particular one is just a dead bumper. If you don't know the difference between a dead bumper and a pop bumper, a dead bumper has no mechanism to kick the ball out. The ball just bounces off of it. And there is a rubber ring around the inside of a dead bumper. The ball rolls up on the skirt like on a pop bumper, and you get the points, but nothing kicks the ball off. It just bounces off because of that rubber ring. It actually plays pretty good like that. If you just calmly let the ball hit it, it will bounce off to one of your flippers almost every time. Now, if the ball hits it, pretty like here, you're going to lose it. But you've actually got a pretty good, we'll see if I'm right, I might be wrong when we play it, but you've got a pretty good ability of hitting it, because if the flippers obviously are much wider than usual. But if the ball lands about here, it's going to bounce back to here. Right? So you've got a very small little window there that you could lose the ball, really. So I played it a little bit while we were working through it, and I got to say the thing plays smooth as hell. It's just a cool design, because you hit these mushroom bumpers a lot as the ball flies by. So if it hits that, if it just barely rolls past it, it's going to knock that up. So those mushroom bumpers work backwards from a pop bumper. When you hit them, it knocks that little plastic piece up a little bit. It just raises it, which connects a switch on the bottom of the playfield. So, very cool. So we're going to play it a little bit and just see what we can, see how much we can enjoy it. And I set it back to 5-ball. If you didn't watch the second video in this series, this is actually a 7-ball game. You can set it to 3-ball, 5-ball, or 7-ball. We set it to 7-ball, and it works like that. Why they designed it like that, I have no clue. I did a little bit of research, and really it would take you all kinds of trouble to go through it. One of you might want to do it if you want to waste a couple hours, but if you go back a couple games, I think maybe one game before this, and then a couple games after this, there were a few that were 7-ball. But it wasn't something that lasted, it didn't look like. But there were more than one, and this was not the first. So there were other 7-ball games. It was just something Bally was doing at the time. All right, so let me get a tripod. We'll play it a little bit and see if you think it's a cool game. We're going to test play it a little bit. We'll see how she works. Yeah, so I played it. We kind of had it limping along the whole time, but we haven't played it, of course, since we've redone the playfield. And so now we're going to try to dial it in if there's little minor things or bulbs that don't work, things like that. So all 10 score reels reset. So the super score does reset at the beginning of the game. I'm going to actually play a 2-player game. The 1 and the 2 have lit up on the back glass. You can actually see it in the reflection on the glass. That is a 1, and that is a 2. That's the reflection of my scores. I'm going to put a little oil on the shooter rod. It works fine, but so did our little hit rebound 100 points thing didn't work. Okay, there's that. It did open the gate, so that's cool. And then the gate shut after the ball bounced through it. So the rebound thing. There it is. Oh, but we missed it. Look how it turned off as soon as it went past it. Wow. How the hell did they do that? Okay, that clacking you're hearing, you're hearing a ring, a ching, and then you hear a clunk, ching, clunk, ching, clunk. What's going on is the bell, there is a little plunger that hits the bell as it's going ding when it hits the bell, and then the coil shuts off and it falls back through. When it hits the other side, you're hearing it hit the other side. There's supposed to be like a little rubber piece or something under there so that it doesn't make that noise. Okay, so we have now jumped over to our second player scores, which you can see the reflection of right there. Now, I'm not saying you can read them. I'm just saying, you know, that will explain to you what some of these little flashy lights are. Did you see what it did with the rebound, though? It hit right there. When it did, it turned on the 100-point light. But then I missed it and went through this one. When I went through this one, the light turned off. No computers. And the score motor's not turning. Right? So the score motor in the bottom, if you know anything about these electromechanicals or if you watch enough of our videos, when these score motors turn, that's how it kind of makes it do the math. And to that one guy that kept telling me, "Oh, it's not math. I can't believe you think that." It's a way to understand it, people, okay? It is math. When it turns, it can add things up, it can make things happen, it's movement, it's math, as I see it. So how is it doing that without the score motor turning? Pretty cool. Okay, nope, didn't hit it. Oh! Okay, watch the rebound at the top. Whoop. Nope, not quite enough. the plunger isn't real smooth, so it's a little hard to get it just right where it's exactly where you want it. I can just fully plunge it, of course, but I'm trying to like control it. I didn't hit it hard enough to make it light up. That'll get it. What? How the hell does it do that? It must have it set up where once you score 10 points, it turns it off somehow. Watch. And you can do it again. Wow, that's cool. That's a skill shot, people. Okay, the bell with the clunk 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 is a little annoying, so I'll have to mess with that. That'll be easy to fix. We'll do that here shortly. Now the boo you're hearing is because the ball, it's an EM thing. It's sitting on the switch. Whoa. If the ball rolls over a switch, the relay comes on, it turns on the switch turns on the point relay. The point relay pulls in the coil for the score reel. The score reel pulls in, it opens up a switch, it kills the point relay, and that all happens like clink, like that. But there's a problem. If the ball sits on the switch, it pulls in the relay pulls in the score reel. The score reel opens up the switch to kill the point relay, but the point relay does not turn off because the ball's still sitting on the switch. So you end up with the point relay stuck on, and the score reel is stuck on. So it's going, oh, and the bell is stuck on. On this one, it's a clapper, but that's stuck on too, right? So it's going, you got about 3 coils stuck on because the ball is actually sitting on the switch. So if it rolls over the switch real slow, you'll hear it go, and then whenever it gets off the switch finally, all that stuff falls out. So that's what you're hearing. There we go. Whoa, nope, we missed it. These are the Bally 2-inch stunners. In my opinion, they're nice and strong for 2-inch flippers. There is nothing wrong with those flippers. There we go. Like, look at that. Those flippers have plenty of power in them for what they are. The light, the 100-point light up lit up. The pop bumper light went out. Oh, I got saved. Look, it opened that gate at the top. The gate on the right, the free ball gate is open. And it also opened the second rollover gate. Roll-through gate, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and now it says 200 points. Oh yeah, because you're going to get, and that closed it. How the hell did it close it? How are they? Think about this. How are they doing this with just switches and stuff? There's no computer. Okay, so you go through and you roll over that, and it says opens free ball gate. That's this ball, this gate, but it also opened that gate. And then that changed to 200 because now when you go through, you're going to hit that switch, which presumably gives you 100, and that switch, which presumably gives you 100. But somehow I hit something that closed that one but left that one open. That's wild. So they've got about, they have 3 things that turn themselves off once something else happens. So whenever the 100-point light comes on, it comes on just by simply hitting a switch. It changes that from 10 to 100, just like that. So it must turn on some kind of relay, right? And then the relay is turned off, apparently, as soon as you score 10 points. That's what I would guess. So if you go through that rollover or that rollover, which means you missed the middle one, it turns it off. And then I noticed before, if you roll through and get the 100 points, when you come down here and hit the pop bumper, it turns it off, because I think the pop bumper's 10. Or it hit something that turned it off. Right? So they've got that set up where switches turn it off, which is a little unique, you know. Now this gate has always worked that way on all of the games. Whenever that opens, when you roll through that switch turns it off where it closes again. Sometimes it'll be a switch out here that does it, but you roll over a switch and it shuts that gate again, right? So they've got that one wired like that too. That gate appears to open whenever this one opens, and then I hit something up there that closed the damn thing. Just cool. And this is all stuff that probably wouldn't cost much to implement. It's just a design thing where you have to think about it a little bit. Let's make this do this and this do that. All right, so watch it turn off. Watch. Off, okay? Well, that's the end of our game. All right, so I'm going to fix that light bulb. I'm going to oil the shooter rod, and I'm going to put a little piece of rubber underneath the coil that we're hearing so it sounds a little better. Well, I don't have the little rubber thing, so we're stuck with that, but I was able to oil the shooter rod and fix the light bulb, of course. So we'll play one more game. Much smoother. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. Oh, not quite. We're getting there, though. Oh! They shot it right past me. What nothing I could do. $883 points. I need 4,900 to win a free game. We'll play one more. I want to see this ball thing up here. I want to see how that gate shut on me that time. Yeah, the rebound's much easier to hit. And you can't unhit it. So once you hit it, if you bounce off of it again, it doesn't matter. Okay, so... Nope. Okay, so that did not open that gate. I don't know what opens that. Maybe it's what ball you're on. Or maybe if you hit the skill shot, it does it. I don't know. Oh. Oh, come on. It's an equal opportunity one. This is the point of the video where everybody goes, oh, yeah, and the ball bounces out of the out lane sometimes. I don't like games where you can lose the ball sometimes. That one was my fault. All right, so we're on ball 5, and it did not change from 100 to 200 because of the ball we're on. There's that damn pop bumper again because of the ball that we're on. All right, I'm gonna look in the schematics and see what makes it do that. Okay, so first up, the rebound relay is turned on when you hit the top rebound. Then that turns on the light, and that does the math to make it score 10 or 100 points. And the rebound relay is held on by a switch on itself that runs through the 10-point relay. So I was correct about that. As soon as it scores 10 points, that relay is going to pull in. That normally closed switch is going to open. There will no longer be power going to the rebound relay, and it'll turn off. Very clever. The one up at the top that I was thinking about is the alley gate solenoid. That's actually what turns on the 200-point switch or whatever, the 200-point light instead of the 100. When you open this gate at the top, it turns on the 200 light instead of the 100-point light. So that solenoid comes on and holds itself, well, it doesn't hold itself on, but what turns it on is the Tiger unit when it's at the top, and the trail unit when it's at the top, either one of them. So the Tiger unit or the trail unit, whenever it gets to its 5th position or its final position, whatever, it closes the switch, which opens up that solenoid. The solenoid then turns on the light that says 200. But what actually makes you score 200 is there's now 2 switches involved. One scores 100, the other one scores 100. So if these, I guess if I went back on the video, I could tell. But if either one of these is all the way to the top, where all 5 are lit, that will open up. Pretty cool. So the way that they actually accomplish that is the top alley half of the switch. So when you roll through that top one, it connects power through there, and it turns on the red mushroom bumper relay. Which is going to step up the red whatever, you know. That's how it, that one time it looked like it turned on, it opened the gate for me. What actually happened was it advanced the red side, which is trail, to the top, and it must have turned it on. When it pulls in the mushroom bumper relay, the red mushroom bumper relay, it connects this switch, which gives you 100 points. Now, whenever it's open and you roll through the bottom switch as well, you go through the bottom alley rollover. And when that connects, it connects the yellow mushroom bumper relay. And when the yellow mushroom bumper relay connects, one of the things it does is it gives you 100 points. So, yeah, each switch gives you 100 points, but they do it by turning on the red mushroom bumper relay or the yellow mushroom bumper relay. Also, the reason this one says top alley half switch is because the other half of the switch, or I guess that could be 1 out of 2 switches, 1-2 switch. The other switch is the one that opens up the little gate that we were looking at, the alley, not the alley gate, but the free play gate, whatever it's called. You actually see it here. Alley top rollover, connect it. It opens up the free ball gate solenoid. The free ball gate solenoid holds itself on with the switch on itself until the score motor turns. Or until 50 points is scored. 50 points would be scored when you go out that right lane or out the left lane. Very cool. So if you go out the left side and it's the end of the ball, you get your 50 points and it opens up that, it closes that gate. If you go out the right side, you get your 50 points and you just landed in the shooter lane and you live to play again. All right, I fixed the bulb again. Now we know how it all works. Let's see if we can get the trail thing to get up to the top. Or the Tiger thing. Tell me if you see that gate open. And I think it'll only open while that's at the top, I think. Oh. So you'll know if it's open because the 200 light will come on up there. We got to see it do that. We're on our last ball already, though. They took this dime from me. Luckily, I've got the keys. Oh, almost had it. I thought we were going to get it. Okay, we got to try one more time. Okay. There's a couple of... Oh! And it did shut that gate at the end of the ball, even though it went out the left one. Oh, I gotta get used to how to save it off that pop bumper. I have so much fun playing these like this, but the videos are just brutal. I just don't like making the videos of the gameplay because I get so many boring people replying to the video. Oh, I don't like the color. I don't like this. All they want to do is complain. They make me complain about them complaining. That was pretty decent. So I already know while I'm playing it that there's going to be so many people that just don't like it because they're just miserable people, you know. And it takes away the fun that I have playing it, you know. I enjoy it, and then I get some dumbass telling me that it's not fun, you know. So, I always thought it was weird whenever people want to tell you that something you enjoy, they don't enjoy. This just seems weird to me. People will do it with music too. Oh, I can't believe you listen to that. That's horrible. Oh, you should be just like me. Well, I want to get the Tiger or the Trail up so we can see if we're correct about how that works. Ah! I'm up to at least 30 cents I've spent on this. Oh! Oh, It resets it at the end of each ball. It makes it harder, much harder. close. Watch the 100 at the top. Oh, they took it from us. They took it from us. All right, I gotta try it one more time. These videos are a good way to mow the lawn, though. A good way to mow the grass. I'll tell you another thing that's like disappointing is you don't get the same thing on the arcade game videos. When you play an arcade game video, you never get people saying, "Oh, you don't know how to play," or "Oh, it's not fun. Oh, I don't like that that one's slightly different than the ones that I enjoy." It's weird. That's kind of a sad statement about the pinball community, but what can you say? I like the pop bumpers. There we go. It did do it. Look. See the 200? Oh, that's what it means. Oh, it makes sense now. It says it right on the playfield. I couldn't tell what they were talking about. It says lights 200, lights 100. It must have something. So we got super score 1. Yeah, see, look, it closed it. Okay, well, that explains it. That's what the lights 200 means. It lights that 200. Okay, well, now I know. I'm glad I figured it out. Of course, you guys already all knew that. All right, folks, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's your loss. Some people can't help but be miserable. But I enjoyed it. If you want to see another cool Ted Zell game because you did enjoy it, check this one out. I'll see you on the next video.